Tonight, a family crying out for answers.
I left that hospital saying bye to her, thinking I would see her again, and by the time I got there at 8:30 at night, she was already on life support.
Why they believe a delay in care led to their mother's death. Also tonight, a long-awaited inquest.
Well, we definitely need changes within all different systems, especially justice.
A hearing into the death of Aisha Hudson begins. Plus, an unwelcome eye in the sky.
All of a sudden we could hear this loud sound going on, and then we looked up and there was like this big giant thing.
The community watch group searching for answers in Kleefeld.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. An East Kildonan family is devastated tonight, claiming their mother was misdiagnosed during a recent ER visit at St. Boniface Hospital. A mistake they believe led to her death. CTV's Joseph Bernacki spoke with them today and joins us now live. Joseph, what happened?
Marilee, 68-year-old Judy Burns was brought to St. Boniface ER after her daughters say she was disoriented and looking pale. It is the second family we spoke to in the last week about patient care at St. Boniface ER.
Maybe she could still be here today.
Heartbreak, anger, and endless questions for the family of Winnipeg resident Judy Burns. Her daughter Chelsea Mann says her 68-year-old mother was the anchor in her family.
Our mom was definitely our best friend, for one. We spent every morning calling her, me and my son, FaceTime.
According to Mann, her mother was brought to St. Boniface ER in the early morning hours of January 18th after she was found delirious, not responsive, and pale. While she didn't wait long in the ER waiting room, doctors at first found her dehydrated and later diagnosed her with diverticulosis. But the family wanted an endoscopy right away.
She wasn't okay. They told us multiple times, your mom is going to be fine. She's going to be going home in 48 hours.
But that didn't happen. Her family stayed with her throughout the day, but by that night, she had a stroke and went into cardiac arrest, according to the family. Mann says an endoscopy was then performed, and a small ulcer in her mother's small intestine was found. Despite a quick surgery, Burns was placed in a medically induced coma.
Our mom did survive the surgery, and we were told that unfortunately, she was bleeding internally all day. I think if a scope would have done sooner, our mom would still be here.
The family believes the delay in treatment caused her to deteriorate. Burns' family made the hard decision to remove life support 3 days later, and their mom died.
I left that hospital saying bye to her, thinking I would see her again, and by the time I got there at 8:30 at night, she was already on life support.
Mann says the family emailed the hospital detailing what happened the next day. They heard back from the hospital that an internal investigation was being launched. A WRHA spokesperson confirms its patient relations team has been in touch with Burns' family. Meantime, Health Minister Uzoma Asseguara says the province is working to determine if Burns' death meets the criteria for a critical incident.
Joseph, this isn't the only family looking for answers in the death of a loved one at St. Boniface Hospital.
Yeah, Marilee, CTV national reporter Alex Carpa just reported on the death of Stacey Ross. In that case, the 55-year-old mother waited more than 12 hours before being discharged with the virus. She was sent home but died after waiting another 11 hours at the St. Boniface ER. The WRHA said they are reviewing her case to see if it meets the criteria for a critical incident review.
All right, thanks for this, Joseph. The witness list is now out for the Winnipeg Police Headquarters inquiry, and two very prominent people will be among the first to testify. Former Winnipeg Mayor Sam Cates and former CAO Phil Sheagle. Cates is scheduled for the very first week of the inquiry, which gets underway February 10th. Phil Sheagle is set to testify the week after, along with the owner of Caspian Construction. In court documents, RCMP alleged the city was the victim of a multi-million-dollar fraud. A civil court found Sheagle accepted a $327,000 bribe from Caspian and ordered him to pay $1.1 million to the city. An 18-year-old man is facing charges after a worker at Manitoba Hydro Place was assaulted by a man with a knife. It happened Friday night to a Hydro employee who was leaving work for the day. According to police, the victim was knocked to the ground but managed to disarm the suspect before several bystanders stepped in to help until officers arrived. The suspect, who's been released on an undertaking, is charged with possession of a weapon and assault with a weapon. Hydro is taking preventative security measures in light of the incident.
Well, it's shocking to have a violent incident like that happen here. It's a public space, but it's also our workplace, and our employees have a reasonable expectation to be able to come and go from work safely. So for the time being, we've locked the doors. It's not open to the public for the time being until we've reviewed our security measures and can ensure that such a thing doesn't happen again.
Police say the victim sustained minor injuries. A long-awaited inquest into the police shooting of 16-year-old Aisha Hudson got underway today with statements from her family. The Indigenous teen was shot and killed following a liquor store robbery and police pursuit. The inquest will look at whether systemic racism played a role in her death and if the use of force was appropriate. Live with the latest tonight is CTV's Jeff Keel. So, Jeff, what is the family hoping for from this inquest?
Along with advocates and leaders, they want changes to the justice system to prevent this from happening again.
16-year-old Aisha Hudson was shot and killed by police following a high-speed chase that ended here at Lajimodiere and Fermor. Now, almost 6 years later, an inquest into her death is underway.
Aisha Hudson deserves justice.
The hearing began with a traditional ceremony and opening statements by family members.
It's just painful just listening to the experience of the family and just hearing the hurt and the pain.
Hudson, an Indigenous teen, was fatally shot by police in April 2020 after a robbery at a Sage Creek liquor mart and a chase with a stolen Jeep. The vehicle she was driving crashed into another vehicle at Lajimodiere Boulevard in Fermor. The inquest will examine whether the use of force was appropriate and if systemic racism played a role. The province's Grand Chief hopes recommendations from the inquest will lead to changes to prevent this from happening again.
We're not looking for, any criminal or liable decisions, I guess, so to speak, within this process. We're just looking at the systemic change.
Manitoba's police watchdog, the Independent Investigation Unit, cleared police in 2021 of any criminal liability.
This investigation was a complete and thorough review of all available evidence. I'm satisfied that no stone was left unturned.
NDP MP Leah Gazan also wants to change how police are investigated. She feels the IIU is not fully independent.
I don't think former police officers, people that are involved in the system, are an impartial voice.
The inquest resumes tomorrow.
Jeff, who's allowed to take part in this inquest?
In 2022, a judge made a ruling allowing Hudson's family to participate, as well as the Winnipeg Police Service, the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Family Advocate, as well as the Manitoba Advocate for Children and Youth.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff. Property owners in Brandon will see their tax bills rise under the city's latest budget. Brandon City Council approved a 7.4% tax increase late last week. It translates to a 6.7% bump in the municipal portion of the average property owner's tax bill in the Wheat City. Brandon's budget includes more than $50 million to be invested in water and wastewater infrastructure, along with major investments for a land drainage project, transportation, and community services. It's Groundhog Day, and the furry prognosticators are mixed on whether we can expect an early spring or more winter.
There is a shadow, folks. We know what that means. That means here in Manitoba, we have 6 more weeks of winter ahead of us.
Manitoba Merv emerged to see his shadow this morning at Okamic Marsh. Now, as a puppet, Merv is actually the most accurate of all the groundhogs in the country.
As town criers for Willie, we're proud to proclaim, no shadow he spotted, no sunshine he claimed.
Ontario's Wyerton Willie is predicting an early spring. The rodent reportedly did not see his shadow, according to the mayor and town criers.
There is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
And in Pennsylvania, Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow. Phil is the most famous rodent forecasting the weather since the 1800s. No matter the results, spring officially begins on March 20th. Well, maybe many Manitobans were like Merv this morning, shivering out there as they saw their shadows.
Well, when you watch Merv and you watch Wyerton Willie, you noticed a big difference in enthusiasm.
Well, yeah, those poor groundhogs should be hibernating right now, so...
Yeah, he looked a little cool out there, Merv.
Yeah, Merv is the better option.
Well, and he's the most accurate groundhog when it comes to these things. So yeah, we're not, the spring is not springing anytime soon. Let's put it that way. In fact, tonight, temperatures are going to be quite cold, very winter-like temperatures. But actually, this will be the coldest night of the week. And then we'll actually see some snow coming through. And then beyond that, even milder temperatures. So I will show you how it will all play out coming up. The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution in Winnipeg right now. It's clear, it's cold, minus 23 degrees when you factor in those light north-northwest winds at 8 kilometers an hour. The wind chill feels like minus 29. The pressure's rising, and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 78%.
Thanks, Colleen. Winnipeggers can now access city services in one central spot. The city has launched a My Account citizen portal with information tailored to your home address. It provides an online hub with recycling and garbage collection details, snow clearing zones, parking bans, and more. Users can also track service requests, and those with a My Utility account can link it to a My Account, allowing them access with a single login and password. The province is offering free hepatitis A vaccines to Peguis First Nation members. It comes amid an ongoing outbreak across the province. Health officials say as of January 18th, there have been 308 cases of hepatitis A in Manitoba. Peguis First Nation members, visitors, and close contacts 6 months of age and older are now eligible for the free vaccine. It includes anyone traveling to or working in Peguis First Nation, and for those who have household visitors from the community. The vaccine is already available for the communities of Garden Hill, St. Teresa Point, Wasagamak, and Red Sucker Lake. Health officials say the overall risk of exposure for the general public is low. Mysterious lights have been spotted hovering in southern Manitoba, and now a group of residents has banded together to figure out what exactly is going on. CTV's Danton Unger explains.
You can always see them in the distance over here.
Monique Kirchie has noticed something strange going on in the skies of southern Manitoba.
Like they fly all over the town.
Over the past few weeks, Kirchie says she and her neighbors have seen large drones like this hovering around Kleefeld just west of Steinbach.
It's only at nighttime that they're hearing and seeing these things, and so it raised a lot of concern, the fact that there's so many and it's so many frequent sightings. Nobody knows anything.
She's reported it to the municipality and the RCMP, but so far, no answers as to what's behind the sudden uptick in drone activity. Steinbach RCMP did confirm they've received one report of drones flying over the city as well as in the Labrokery area, hovering near houses and waking people up. RCMP say at this point, no other reports have been received. Corporal Ryan Cadot says it can be difficult to track down the operators of drones.
It's tricky because a lot of these drones have considerable range, and unless you can find the pilot, there's not a whole lot we can really do about it, unfortunately.
Still, if a drone is flying on private property or getting a little too close for comfort, Cadot does encourage residents to report it to RCMP. As for Kirchie, this is a mystery she wants to solve. That's why she's created the Community Drone Watch.
Drone chasers, unite. I was kidding, but at the same time kind of serious because people had been posting about noticing all these drones flying around for the last few weeks.
While not taking herself too seriously, she does hope this will lead to some answers, like who's flying these drones around her area and why.
So far, nobody knows what these things are. They're just these big, large drones that have been flying around.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Steinbach.
A new bag policy is in effect at casinos of Winnipeg properties. The maximum allowable bag size is 14 by 14 by 6 inches. We're told this change was made to improve safety. The policy says restricting bag size means security won't have to spend as much time checking bags for prohibited items. Exceptions will be considered for medically necessary items. All bags are subject to search regardless of size.
Not enough to cause catastrophic failure, but certainly enough to send alarm bells ringing all over NASA.
Takeoff pending. The latest on Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen's upcoming trip to space. A mixed day on the markets. Crude oil lost more than $3. The loonie also slipped lower. Gold futures dropped $92. The TSX added 260 points. The Dow Jones jumped 515 points, and the Nasdaq was up 130 points. South Korea is pulling out all the stops to win the bid to build Canada's next generation of submarines. CTV News has learned plans are in the works to sail one of the vessels across the Pacific to Canada this spring. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
A deep dive into what could be the biggest defense procurement in Canada's history, the purchase of up to 12 submarines.
Because this has now evolved into a government-to-government situation. It's a big, big procurement. This is going to be a relationship with the winner for years, decades to come.
To persuade, the South Korean Navy plans to sail the KSS-3 submarine across the Pacific and dock in British Columbia, a journey that will take 2 months.
Your hands up here.
Okay. CTV News also got to see Hanwha's pitch up close. We couldn't film because of security protocols, but the attacked submarine holds about 50 sailors. It launches vertical missiles that target land and has torpedoes. But the deciding factor will rest on economic benefits. To win the contract, Hanwha is pledging to help hard-hit businesses, like investing $345 million in Algoma to buy its steel and help it build a plant to make beams.
It's been tough as tariffs have been in place for a year and half of our business has gone away.
While some companies are hurting, others are looking for ways to expand. Using robotic technology, Hanwha builds 45 ships annually on its assembly line. Speed, Ontario's shipyards want to emulate.
I mean, what they do here is cutting edge. It's absolutely fantastic. If we can bring just a fraction of that to Canada, I think us as a country would be a lot further ahead in our shipbuilding endeavors.
The deadline for Hanwha and TKMS to submit their bids is March 2nd. It's a deal that could be worth $100 billion spread over more than 3 decades. It's investment that Canada needs to protect itself from Donald Trump's trade war. Judy Trin, CTV News, Koje, South Korea.
The federal Conservatives introduced a motion in Ottawa today to fast-track the government's legislation to increase the GST credit for lower-income Canadians.
Certainly want to see it go to committee as early as tomorrow with the finance minister, who again promised in 2023 that he would stabilize prices, testify at that committee, and see it back in the House on Wednesday so we can provide real relief expeditiously for families. Now, if you work here, you know that that's lightning speed.
On my side, I can tell you, in caucus, no. I'm willing, and I'm saying that on live television, I'm willing to appear at committee this afternoon if they so want, to make sure that we would progress that and meet the immediate timeline. I have yet to hear. I know that there are discussions being held to make sure that this will happen.
The Conservatives supported the measure despite calling it a Band-Aid solution. The bill to help people deal with high grocery prices passed without opposition. It still needs to be voted on in the Senate today. The Parliamentary Budget Office said it expects the increase to cost Ottawa an estimated $12.4 billion over 6 years. That's slightly higher than the government's initial projection. The U.S. president has ruled out military force to take over Greenland, but today the prime minister of the semi-autonomous territory reminded lawmakers Donald Trump still wants to acquire the island. Greenland's prime minister told Parliament his government will continue to increase dialogue with Western countries and Denmark. Meanwhile, our Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke with his Danish counterpart today. Both leaders restated decisions on the future of the island are for Greenland and Denmark alone to make. Another setback for the Northern Ontario community of Kashchewan with the discovery of a parasite in the water supply. It's prompted plans to evacuate medical staff. Most residents have already left following problems in January with the water treatment plant. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver on the ongoing issues facing the Indigenous community.
The several hundred people remaining in the fly-in community of Kashchewan may soon be without medical care. The medical staff are pulling out soon, a month after a state of emergency was called in the Northern Ontario community of about 2,300 people.
Once the confirmation of the cryptosporidium was in the water supply, Health Canada, I think, and their health teams decided that that they have to remove their nurses out of the community The paramedics will follow.
Indigenous Services Canada says the community's nurses are expected to depart today, but that Orange Air will be on standby if needed. The residents who are choosing not to evacuate will have to drive about an hour away to Fort Albany Hospital for care.
Roughly 370 people are still there. We're starting to make plans to get these individuals or these families out of the community.
Evacuations began last month when a state of emergency was called after the community's water treatment system failed, sending sewage into people's homes and contaminating freshwater systems. Late last week, tests confirmed the parasite Cryptosporidium was found in the community's water system, the same parasite that made more than 60 people sick.
It doesn't take much of this infection to ingest to actually get us sick. And the primary syndrome of this infection is a gastrointestinal syndrome.
This latest incident comes after the community found E. coli in their water in 2005. And while engineers are looking at solutions, so far there is no timeline for when the water will be safe enough for the community to return. And even then, Wesley says trust in the water has eroded.
It is going to take some time, a lot of time for people to regain that trust.
Indigenous Services Canada says there are plans for alternative access to health care, including virtual care for residents. The department says the nurses will start returning to Kashchewan when the community members do as well. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia has largely observed a ceasefire as the countries prepare for the next round of trilateral talks to end Russia's war in Ukraine. Zelensky says Russia has not carried out any targeted missile or drone attacks on Ukrainian energy infrastructure in the last 24 hours. However, energy facilities in frontline areas of the war have come under fire. Zelensky says de-escalation measures are helping to build public trust in the ceasefire negotiations process. Talks among representatives from Russia, Ukraine, and the United States were expected to resume this weekend, but those meetings have now been moved to Wednesday and Thursday. A crucial test is underway at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where a massive rocket is being fueled up. It could carry Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen into space, along with the Americans, for a flyby of the moon. Today's test was marred by a fuel leak that was resolved, but is raising questions about whether the historic mission will proceed in the next week. CTV's John Vanavelli-Rao reports.
After rolling out to the launch pad 2 weeks ago, this massive NASA rocket's now undergoing a final critical test, what's called a wet dress rehearsal, loaded with fuel during a practice countdown. And depending on how things go, Canadian Jeremy Hansen could blast off in less than a week, with the moon mission seeming like it could finally happen.
Now there's an actual rocket on the launch pad pointing in the right place, and there's the moon somewhere not, kind of lined up, and now we're actually putting fuel on it.
There were no astronauts on board today. All 4 remain in quarantine, awaiting the green light for a launch attempt. A mission that'll see them go on a 10-day lunar flyby on a rocket and capsule that have never carried people before, with Hansen set to become the first non-American ever to go around the moon.
To see our beloved Jeremy Hansen going up there, Canadian, this is just a really exciting moment for the world, but it's especially exciting for Canada.
The Artemis rocket did suffer a fuel leak today, but the team seemed to work around the problem. It could potentially launch on the 8th, 10th, or 11th, failing that early March or April, with the astronauts prepared to fly on Sunday.
The crew are assuming that's their launch date, so they will be ready.
All that as concerns are again being expressed about the Orion capsule's heat shield, which during an uncrewed test in 2022 was damaged unexpectedly during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere.
Enormous chunks of the heat shield came off. Fortunately, not enough to cause catastrophic failure, but certainly enough to send alarm bells ringing all over NASA.
Some think the risk is unacceptable, but NASA has said if astronauts had been on board, they would have survived, and it has since modified the re-entry angle. Meanwhile, NASA has said it won't set a specific launch date until it has reviewed the data from today's test, which could take another day or two. John Vanavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Out east, another winter storm is hitting areas of Atlantic Canada, the third in as many weeks. Environment Canada expects the nor'easter to bring strong winds and up to 50 centimeters of snow in some parts of eastern Newfoundland by tomorrow morning. Much of the rest of the province is forecast to get about half of that, as well as high winds. Most of Nova Scotia is under winter storm warnings, and upwards of 25 centimeters of snow could fall there as well.
Oh, no, they touched it, and it won't go.
Still to come, an emotional end to an all-Manitoba final at the Scotties.
Once we get past tonight, unseasonably mild weather throughout the rest of the week, including all throughout the long range. Normal high now for Winnipeg is -10. Normal low is -21. Take a look at this. -6 on Wednesday. Note the absence of a minus sign on Thursday. Not a typo. +4, mostly cloudy. Cold front comes through, takes us back to -11 Friday with more sunshine. The weekend mild. -7 with a chance of flurry Saturday, up to -4 by Sunday.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
The Jets are in Dallas tonight for the team's final road game before the Olympic break.
I think we got to do what we did last game, and obviously we're happy with how we played, but we have to replicate it, and I think that's the biggest thing for us is to replicate games like that, turn them over, and when we play like that, we give ourselves a chance to win every night.
The Jets rallied Saturday to a big 2-1 win over the Panthers. The club finished January with a 7-6-3 record, but are still 9 points out of the final wild card spot in the West. Coach Scott Arniel says gaining ground against a powerhouse like the Dallas starts with discipline.
Their power play is on fire, absolutely on fire. So, if we're out there, we got to make sure that we're doing the right things. Secondly, stay out of the box. That'd go a long way. But still, a lot of the similarities, a lot of the same things. The straight line, they attack, they're quick off the breakouts, getting numbers up the ice. They defend real strong.
The Jets have dropped both games against the Stars so far this season. Connor Hellebuck gets the start in this one. Puck drop from Dallas is slated for just after 7:30.
The Hockey Report, brought to you by Santa Lucia Pizza. Check out the game day special.
Still with hockey news, Dolphins' own Barry Trotz is stepping down as general manager of the Nashville Predators. Trotz is retiring from the GM role less than 3 years after taking control of hockey operations in Music City. The 63-year-old says his decision isn't health-related, and he plans to stay on the job until a replacement is found. Trotz coached the Predators, Capitals, and Islanders over 24 NHL seasons. He won a cup with Washington back in 2018. Well, it was certainly windy on Saturday, but dozens of Manitobans still laced up their skates and runners for a winter triathlon.
It was really fun. It was something I've never done before, so running was fine. Biking and skating was really hard, especially with the wind, but it was a great experience.
Look at this windy weather. Beat the Cold Triathlon challenged athletes to a 5-kilometer run along with biking and skating at the Forks. It was the 8th year One Just City hosted this event to support its work with the homeless.
For the athletes, a lot of it just realizing, it's beat the cold, because there's people that stay outside all winter in this kind of cold condition, because we know how cold we think it is. Imagine if you had to live out here in this kind of conditions.
According to the race director, more than $25,000 was raised this year. That money will go towards programming, helping to keep people warm and safe during Winnipeg's coldest months.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Before we get to weather, we have some sad news to pass along, especially to our longtime viewers here at CTV. We are very sad to say that Peter Young has passed away. His family says he passed away this afternoon with them by his side. You may remember Peter from many years here at CTV as a sports broadcaster, did play-by-play.
Of course.
And although I didn't have a chance to work with him, I know, Colleen, you probably the same with me. He was a fixture in media for many years. And, we felt like we did because Peter always made us feel like part of the family. So our thoughts are with his family tonight. He will be missed. Yes. He was a great, great broadcaster and just an amazing human being.
Absolutely, yes. Watched him for many years, and I know he stayed in touch with past employees.
Always,
until
I think right up until Got to start in Thunder Bay too, so I always knew him from there, where I'm from. We even kind of grew up in the same neighborhood, so thoughts are with his family tonight.
Of course. Well, Well, the night ahead will be a cold one. Once we get past tonight, folks, things are going to, well, Manitoba Murph maybe didn't see a shadow, but things are going to feel a lot warmer, or put it this way, less cold. Maybe that's the better way to put it. The start to the night, for the most part, will be clear. We had temperatures in the mid-minus teens, top to bottom, in both northern and southern halves of the province. A little bit of cloud today, even around the Melita area in the southwest corner, nipped there by a little bit of snow. Conversely, it was sunny here in Winnipeg. Further east into northwestern Ontario as we start the night, the sky is clear, the winds are light. Now, this snow that's approaching will eventually get to you by tomorrow night in the form of a few flurries. Now, this headed our way is not a particularly potent system whatsoever, but it's going to affect a lot of areas. We start out the night, for the next few hours anyway, pretty clear across much of Manitoba and, of course, even further east into northwestern Ontario. Once we get to around midnight, that's when we'll start to see the first of the snow with this system spill over the border from Saskatchewan into Manitoba. So places like Norway House, it'll get to you overnight, but first, Flin Flon, the Paw, those areas, Lynn Lake, you'll see that snow overnight. As we get into tomorrow morning, it'll spread further south into the southwest. Now, this is going to be intermittent. It looks like it'll be mid to late afternoon by the time we start to see any kind of snow here in the Winnipeg area, the Red River Valley. But again, on again, off again, not much to it. It moves along pretty quickly, and as I mentioned, by the time it gets to northwestern Ontario, really tapering to flurries. Meanwhile, you see it clears right out across the north. Cloudier skies still behind Tuesday night, overnight into Wednesday, when the next more substantial snowfall starts to move into northern Manitoba. You can see it's more organized, and there'll be more to it. Even a little bit of freezing rain on that corner there, that southwestern flank. Shouldn't make its way into southern Manitoba, though, for the most part. For tonight, for Winnipeg, increasing clouds overnight. We drop to minus 26 degrees. Light winds out of the south at 10 kilometers an hour. The wind strengthen a bit tomorrow for the commute. Mostly cloudy in the morning, minus 21 degrees. Snow likely mid to late afternoon, a high of minus 10. The wind starting to strengthen out of the south later on in the afternoon. Into the north tonight, a few clouds for Churchill and Gillam. Now, the temperatures in those communities will rise overnight. Cloudier through Island Lake and Thompson. Thompson drops to minus 21. Light snow there tomorrow. And all through the northeast. Island Lake, it'll get to you later on in the afternoon. In the northwest tonight, again, Lynn Lake, Flin Flon, and the Paw. Look for that snow to start around midnight. Norway House, it'll take a few more hours, but it will get to you by early tomorrow morning. Mild temperatures for your Tuesday. In the southwest tonight, look for snow to move in overnight. Brandon, Neepawa, your temperature falls to around minus 22. Dauphin and Swan River, your temperature rises tonight to around minus 12. And then mild right around the region tomorrow. Highs between minus 3 and minus 5 degrees. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight, some clouds overnight for Winnipeg. We drop to minus 26, but you see we get as cold as minus 28 further off to the east. Snow starting in the afternoon, mild highs between minus 8 and minus 10 here for Winnipeg. You'll actually see some sun to the east before that snow gets to you into the afternoon. Clear tonight in northwestern Ontario. Temperatures in the mid-minus 20s. Sunny for much of the day with highs of minus 11 and minus 12. Before those flurries move in by tomorrow evening. Our first weather photo takes us to Bird Lake in Nopaming Provincial Park. A lovely look there, very wintry. That photo is from Tab. And this is a look at the northern lights over Gillam with that beautiful dog there. That is from Carol. Send us your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. Gimli's Carrie Anerson is heading to the Women's World Championship after coming out on top at this weekend's Scotties Tournament of Hearts final.
Walker. Walker. Now here's Gordon. Here's Gordon. They got it by. Have they got this? Oh, no. They touched it, and it won't go. And it'll be a 5th championship for Carrie Anerson.
Manitoba's Caitlin Laws didn't fully connect on a tricky takeout attempt in the 11th end, allowing Anerson to pick up her 3rd steal of the game and a 4-3 victory. Earlier, Anerson drilled a short angle raise on her own rock in the 10th end to tie the game 3-3 and force that extra end. This is Anerson's 5th national women's curling title and her 1st since 2023.
What an amazing feeling, and just so overwhelmed. I'm super proud of us. It was a grind this week, and we had to make some big clutch shots to get ourselves into this final, so I'm super proud of my team.
Anerson was representing Team Canada as Team Rachel Homan is preparing for the Olympics. Anerson's rink will now represent Canada at the BKT World Women's Curling Championships March 14th to the 22nd in Calgary.
We just want to increase awareness about language deprivation.
Helping kids build confidence, coming up, the importance of language development in the deaf community. New data is shedding an alarming light on just how much opioid-related calls have risen in Winnipeg over the past decade. The Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service is now handling 1,300% more opioid calls than it was just 10 years ago. And joining me now to talk more about that and what first responders are facing is Deputy Chief Ryan Sneath. Good to speak with you.
Good to speak with you.
You know, a 1,300% rise sounds like a lot, considerable to say the least. How concerning is this climb in calls for the service?
Yeah, it's very concerning from a number of aspects. One, from just a social situation and what's happening in our community, but also from the impact that's having on emergency services and the amount of resources that are tied up responding to these incidents.
What kind of a strain do these calls put on staff?
The strain is fairly significant, both from just the general response and how often they're going out, but the strain is also on seeing sometimes the same individuals over and over again. That has a tendency to erode away at morality, staff and how they feel about the work that they're doing, but it also has an impact on the morale in our workplace.
What about day-to-day operations? How do these rising substance use calls, change how you tackle your day-to-day operations?
Yeah, if we look at the volume overall of substance abuse calls that we responded to in 2025, it's nearly 10,000 incidents. So that's equivalent to about 27 calls per day, which is equivalent to about 3 full-time ambulances, along with our fire apparatus. And so it really does tie up a lot of resources responding to them. It certainly is a complex issue, and it certainly does require partnership on our part with agencies like DCSP, Main Street Project, and some of the other social service agencies.
Yeah, you mentioned a complex issue, no doubt there. Is there anything, though, that can be learned from this data to, help alleviate the burden staff are facing moving forward?
There are preventative things that I think we need to start looking at or focusing on. The WFPS in particular is partnering with public health to look at other solutions that would create preventative measures out in the community and in specific areas, so that we can use our data to help start to drive some of the decisions that we're making for individuals in our community.
Well, Deputy Chief, I want to thank you for your time tonight. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you.
A Manitoba organization is shining a spotlight on language deprivation, an issue advocates say can have lifelong impacts on deaf children. The Manitoba deaf community hosted a language deprivation awareness town hall Sunday. The event brought community members together talking about language deprivation, which happens when a child doesn't develop a first language during the period between birth and 5 years old. One of the speakers, Jordan Sangalang, said the goal was to raise awareness, start conversations, and encourage collaboration.
We just want to increase awareness about language deprivation, the phenomena, and how we can work towards a solution. So getting the community involved and the shareholders in the community who have a stake in the future of deaf children.
Sangalang said language deprivation can affect a child's confidence and development. The town hall also aimed to empower people to share their stories. Well, a new study suggests using AI for breast cancer screenings could reduce the number of false positives. A study involving more than 100,000 Swedish women had half their mammograms reviewed by 2 trained human radiologists, while the other half used an AI model. The journal Lancet Oncology reports the AI group had 10% fewer false positives, and the scans were reviewed more quickly. Doctors say the results are promising, but caution using AI should come with continuous performance monitoring. A new study suggests cursing may give you an extra boost at the gym. Researchers at Keele University in England found repeating a swear word helped college students push a little harder on a strength test. According to researchers, uttering a few expletives may actually help you lift and stay focused and give it your all. People who used words that would normally be bleeped also found their tasks more positive and funny.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
Slide City, you know what that means.
Coming up, the big wins and big moments from the Grammys. Spotlight is next.
Rose of your arms.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting American rock legends.
Justin Bieber returned to the stage for last night's Grammy Awards.
The password. Slide City, you know what that means. I'm coming up on you quickly.
Bieber has mostly stayed away from the stage since 2022, but he was up for 4 Grammys last night for his album Swag, including Album of the Year. Bieber, however, did not take home any hardware. Album of the Year went to Bad Bunny.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country, to follow their dreams.
Bad Bunny made history as the first Latin artist to win Album of the Year. He dedicated his win to the people of Puerto Rico and spoke out again about U.S. immigration crackdowns. Bad Bunny will be back on stage next Sunday to headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, the Grammy goes to Luther Vandross.
Cher had a bit of a mix-up announcing the late Luther Vandross as the Record of the Year winner. The winner was actually Kendrick Lamar, who sampled Vandross on his track. Kendrick Lamar won 5 Grammys. He also broke Jay-Z's record for the most awarded rapper in Grammy history. Cher was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
I thought the sun rose of your eyes.
Other highlights from the show included all-star tributes to Roberta Flack and Ozzy Osbourne. Joni Mitchell also won her 11th Grammy for Best Historical Album. A documentary shot in the polar bear capital of the world earned quite the accolade at the Sundance Film Festival. Nuisance Bear was awarded the Grand Jury Prize in Sundance's U.S. documentary competition. It was filmed in Churchill by Toronto filmmakers Gabriella Osio-Vanden and Jack Wiseman. The film explores the relationship between polar bears and the human world of tourists, wildlife officers, and hunters. The short film version of Nuisance Bear premiered at TIFF back in 2021. A few new titles were fighting for #1 at the weekend box office.
Have you tried making a distress signal or a bigger fire?
Send Help came out on top. The comedy survivor horror starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien brought in $20 million US. It faced stiff competition from Iron Lung, a sci-fi adaptation helmed by YouTube star Markiplier, and Melania, a documentary about the U.S. First Lady, made $7 million to debut in third. Festival de Voyager starts in less than 2 weeks, and snow carvers were out in full force this weekend.
We're busy working this piece, which is called The Warmth of Our Home. And basically, it's going to tie in with 2 pieces that we're doing inside Voyager Park. That's all based on the theme of open windows.
Snow carver David McNair was hard at work on Provencher, working on this 16-foot-long sculpture for Festival. He says this is the 8th sculpture for this season he's done alone. Now, Festival de Voyager kicks off a week from Friday at Fort Gibraltar. Your Monday primetime lineup starts at 7 with Extracted. Memory of a Killer is at 8. The Rookie comes in next at 9. And St. Dennis Medical wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
And it is official. Lucy does not see her shadow.
Still to come, an Atlantic Canadian twist on a long-standing tradition.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
-23, light winds out of the north-northwest at 8 kilometers an hour, enough to give us a wind chill that feels like minus 29. Highest temperature of the day was minus 14. That was actually in the overnight hours. Afternoon, we got to about minus 18 or so. 1935 was the day that we set the record high into the 7-degree range. Increase in clouds tonight, we drop down to minus 26. Likely to see some snow come through starting in the afternoon. Not a lot of it. Minus 6 on Wednesday, plus 4 on Thursday. It will be cloudy, but hey, plus 4. A little colder by contrast Friday, brighter though, minus 11, and then milder temperatures for the weekend.
Looks good. Thanks, Colleen. Groundhogs aren't the only creatures casting their predictions for the end of winter.
And it is official. Lucy does not see her shadow.
Oh. Meet Lucy the lobster.
Yeah.
Poor Lucy, look at her hat. She predicted an early start to spring as she launched the Nova Scotia lobster crawl. Lucy clawed her way into Groundhog Day festivities back in 2018, adding an Atlantic Canada twist to the tradition. Oh my goodness, the hat is too much.
She's adorable.
Hopefully the upside to Lucy's weather predictions is she does not get eaten.
Let's hope not.
She has an important job to do instead.
That's right. I love Merv, Manitoba Merv.
Yes.
He's our guy.
Good job today, Merv.
Yeah.
All right, have a good night. We'll see you back here at 6.